North China, April 2, Perkins District 4, and I'm District 5. All units responding, callers advising there is a fire in Press Hall. It's going to be a two-story commercial structure. Both planes and the boat are visible.
I've got smoke still. I'm just going to work in fire time.
Hey guys, my name is Lieutenant Maddox with Moncure Fire Department. Today we're going to be going over our crosslays, which are the same across all of our trucks. They're all 200 feet long, and they all look the exact same. The red line, being a smooth bore with a 7/8 inch tip, will always deploy off the driver's side, and the green line is a fog nozzle that will always deploy off the officer's side. Our smooth bore nozzle flows 160 gallons per minute at 50 psi at the tip. Our fog nozzle flows 150 gallons per minute at 50 psi at the tip. Both of these giving you a pump discharge pressure of 100 psi. The only hose lines that we have that look different than this are going to be our larger diameter hand lines, which deploy off the backs of our trucks, and our front bumper lines, which we went over in a previous video. So our 2.5 inch hand line is packed the exact same way as our crosslays. It's a Minuteman. Same blue strap, same shoulder load, same dump load. The only difference is that it's a 2.5. The tip is an 1.8 inch tip, giving you 265 gallons per minute at 50 psi at the tip. Okay, now that we've talked about our hand lines, we're gonna go ahead and deploy one and talk about its different functions and some different options that you have once you get the line out of the hose bed. So the first thing you're gonna do is come up, you're gonna grab your blue strap, and this is going to pull out your shoulder bundle. So you're going to grab it like so, shuck it out of the hose bed and onto your shoulder. You're then going to turn and grab your dump load, and this one you're just going to pull straight out like this. So your dump line will eventually tighten up, and you'll simply drop that. If you don't have enough space to completely clear your dump line from the hose bed, then your driver operator should be by the pump panel and help you clear that out. Once you get to that point, you've got a couple options with your shoulder bundle. Your first option is going to be to continue to walk. The nice thing about the Minuteman is once you've completely exhausted all of your hose back here, it will begin to just flake off the top and you continue walking until you just get to the nozzle. The second option, which is more likely, is you're going to have to deploy this bundle before you get to your door. So this gives you a couple options. The option that I prefer is to grab my nozzle and grab a loop with my other hand somewhere in the middle of this hose line, dump it off my shoulder, and then walk to my door. So using the front door of the station right there, I'll show you how I would do it. So as I'm walking, I've released my blue strap. I'm just gonna let go. I'm gonna grab somewhere near the middle of this bundle, and I'm gonna grab the nozzle, and then I'm just gonna kind of back it off my shoulder. And as I'm walking back, I'm gonna flake my hose. And as you can see, here I am at the front door. The reason we grab near the middle of the stack is that will leave you with your 50-foot coupling, ideally pretty close to the nozzle. This one's a little bit further back just because of how the folds are packed in the bed. But your 50-foot coupling is right here. So I can walk back, grab that. You've got 50 feet right there at the door. And you can see here how nicely the hose played out. You've got a nice big Z facing your door. You'll be able to make quick entry. When you do this, you do want to be sure that you're as perpendicular to the door as possible. So if your door is like this, you want to try to go straight in so you don't have to make a corner. The other option for deploying this would be to walk all the way up to the door with the bundle still on your shoulder. You'll carefully place it on the ground, and then you'll grab two middle loops and pull straight back. That will achieve this same flaked out pattern here, The only difference is you have to be a little bit more careful about how you put the bundle down. If you do mess up and you drop the bundle, that's okay. All you have to do is grab your nozzle and find your middle coupling, your 50-foot coupling, and walk, and the hose will flake itself out. This is really nice when you're in tight quarters. You can flake it out very easily in hallways, apartment buildings. It's really good for going around cars and obstacles in the front yard. So you do have a lot of options with this hose line and how you can use it to your advantage. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to repack this on the ground. This isn't to go back on the truck, but this is a great method to repack bundles for training at the station so you don't have to take a hose line off the truck. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the hose around your knees, and you're going to go from 1 foot all the way back to the other. And you're just going to keep repeating this process back and forth until you've packed the entire bundle back up. Once I've finished packing this bundle, then I'll show you the other method of pulling it out the door without having to pull another hose line. Okay, so now that we've repacked our bundle and I put it back on my shoulder, I'm going to show you a different method of pulling the hose line out the door. So as opposed to what I did last time, where I grabbed the middle loop and the nozzle, I'm going to continue to walk all the way to the door. I still prefer to stop a few feet short to give you a little bit of room to work, but you're simply going to take the hose load off your shoulder, and you can see right here, you've got your nozzle, and then right here is your 50-foot coupling. So from this position, you're going to come back here, flake this out a little bit, and you're going to grab a couple of your middle loops. You're going to pull straight back. Then on the way back up, you're going to grab your 50-foot coupling, come and drop it right there at your door. You essentially end up with the same thing. To me, it's just an extra step. I prefer to just drop it as I'm walking to the door, but sometimes due to space constraints, or whatever your situation may be, this might be a better option. Or if this is just the way that you practice it, and this is the way that you know how to do it, keep doing it. There's nothing wrong with it. So one last strategy, let's say that you come off the truck and you're just not having a great day, and you end up with a pile of spaghetti on the ground. It's not a big deal, it's an easy fix. Again, all I have to do is grab right here, my last coupling, which is my 50-foot coupling, and then my nozzle. The only thing you need to be careful of is make sure that nothing is going to go over or around your nozzle like that. So I'm just going to take that, throw it off to the side, grab my coupling and my nozzle, bring that right to the door, and then I can come back here and dress it up a little bit. So, as you can see, just because you drop your hose and you end up with some spaghetti, it's not that big of a deal. As long as you grab your nozzle and your 50-foot coupling and walk it out, you'll end up back with a nice Z, ready to make entry into the structure. So now we're going to go over how to repack the Minuteman hose load. So we're going to start on our dump loop side, and this is kind of unique to us. Because of space constraints, we have to leave a setback on our dump loop to leave room for the nozzle at the front of the hose bed. So what we're going to do is we're going to estimate how far the nozzle sits back, or you can actually take the nozzle and set it in the hose bed to get an exact measurement. So I'm going to make a fold further back into the hose bed, and we're going to continue our dump load just like that until we get to just before our first 50-foot coupling. See, we're just before our 50-foot coupling, so this is where I'm going to make my dump loop. Right there, we're going to leave our loop hanging down a good bit out of here, so we have enough room to grab. And then we're going to continue our hose load just like we have previously, the rest of the way until we get to 100 feet. So now that we've continued our stack up to our 100-foot coupling, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this. And we're just gonna set that coupling aside. And this is kind of the tricky part, making sure that your dump load stays upright and doesn't fall over while you're packing your nozzles. So on the Minuteman hose load, your nozzle is always going to go on the bottom. And this is the reason why we left a setback right here. So you can see, we now have plenty of room for our nozzle to sit right there. The bail's not gonna be in the way of anything. It's important to make sure that your hose lays all the way down flat inside of the hose bed, so it sits flat on your shoulder when deployed. As you can see, we made our first fold directly behind the nozzle coupling, and our next fold after that is going to be right behind the bail. All of these folds should be squished down really tight so that your hose load will sit nice and flat on your shoulder. And now we're going to come all the way over to the end of the nozzle and complete the rest of our hose load just like this. Now that we've got to the end of our second 100-foot section, we've completed our shoulder bundle, and we're gonna make our connection here in the middle of the hose. So again, this leaves you with a 100-foot shoulder bundle and a 100-foot dump load. Just gonna fold that back, and that coupling is gonna sit right in the middle of our load. And the last part that we need to do, which again, this is kind of unique to us, due to the amount of water that we have to carry and the amount of space that we have, the hose bed is a little bit higher than most. And because of that, we have these blue straps to make it a little bit easier for shorter folks to grab the hose load from the ground. So to do this, I'm gonna grab our nozzle and just pull this section out to right here, making sure to leave the top fold and the middle coupling out of this strap. We're gonna take our strap, put it right behind the nozzle, just behind that coupling. And we're gonna buckle it down. And then once we've done that, you're gonna need help from a friend on the other side. But we'll just push the hose load back into the bed, make sure our strap is cinched up and pulled towards the front. On our trucks, we leave the dump loop inside the hose bed. But that's it, guys. We're gonna close this up. We have nets on the side of ours to contain it going down the road. And that's how you deploy, use, and repack the Minuteman hose load. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next one.